Let's make creamy pork with mushrooms on top of spaghetti. For this dish, I used a pork fillet. Although you can use chicken, you can use beef, whatever you want to use, but I used this pork fillet, which when I weighed it was round about 387 grams of pork, so quite a lot of pork there. But it doesn't matter, we like a lot of meat, so that's fine. So I just trimmed the pork and made sure that all the sinew was off. Doesn't really matter about the fat, but I just wanted to get this sinew, which you can see here. That's the sinew. That doesn't cook very well, it doesn't eat very well, so if you can just remove that. Once removed, I cut into slices, so thin slices, and that's what I did with the pork. And then I seasoned the pork as well, so salt and pepper, and you can just put that to one side until you're ready for using it. So I'm going to get the ingredients ready, and first of all I got the onions, so I used chopped onions. These were frozen onions, but you can just chop your own if you want. And I used 50 grams of chopped onions. You're going to need garlic as well, so just pop that to one side. This dish contained mushrooms and I had 180 grams. I used what I got left, so I'd got 180 grams of mushrooms left, so I just sliced these. I'm going to need a stock cube as well, so I just had one chicken stock cube. Dissolve the OXO in 200 millilitres of boiling water. We're going to need half a teaspoon of paprika as well. 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. I use plain flour for this. And I used 140 grams of spaghetti. That's for 2 people. The pasta takes approximately 10 minutes, so this can be put on 10 minutes before your dish is due to be dished up. I'm going to be using olive oil and also a little bit of butter to cook the pork in. So once it's all melted, just get your pork, your seasoned pork, in the pan and cook it all the way through, and then you can just pop this to one side. So when you've took the pork out of the pan, you use the same pan. You can add a bit more oil and butter in there, and then just put the onions in there firstly. So pop the onions in, and then you're going to want half a teaspoon of garlic in there. I didn't show this, but put half a teaspoon of onion salt as well in there, just to give it a little bit more flavour. And then add your mushrooms and give this a stir and get those mushrooms cooked down. Once you've cooked the mushrooms, add a tablespoon of flour, just sprinkle that on, and then cook that out for about a minute, stirring continuously to get rid of the flour. So make sure the flour is cooked out. And now we're going to add the stock. So there was 200 millilitres of chicken stock in there. Add that gradually so that it doesn't go lumpy as you're adding that, because you've got the flour in there. So you can just add it just a little bit at a time and just cook that through. I'm now going to add half a teaspoon of paprika. This was smoked paprika, you can use whatever you want. Have a taste of your sauce at this point and see if it needs any more seasoning in there. Mine needed a little bit more salt in there, so I just added a little bit more salt. But it is down to your taste, and this is before you add the cream in. So I'm now going to add the cream in, and I added 85 millilitres of cream, which was enough. You can add more, you can add less in there, it depends how creamy you want it, but I added 85 millilitres of cream, and you can keep tasting it to see if it needs anything more in there. If you need some chilli in there, then pop some chilli in there. But after you've added the cream, just let that simmer for about 5 minutes just to thicken up. And if it's not thick enough, then you can add a cornflour slurry to get that to the right consistency for you. Sorry I didn't film this, but after you've got the cream mixture to the consistency you want, then you can add the pork back in, and you can simmer that for another couple of minutes to make sure the pork is warmed through, and then we're all ready to dish up. I use spaghetti, as you're aware, so I put spaghetti in. You don't have to have spaghetti, you can just have normal pasta. You can have this with rice, you can have it with chips, whatever you want to have it with, but we had spaghetti with that. Absolutely delicious. So that was cooking, and then I'd got the pork mixture, which I put on top of the spaghetti. The sauce was absolutely lovely, really, really nice. And I'd probably have it with rice as well. So next time I cook it, I'll do it with rice. And I did sprinkle some parsley on there. If you've got some fresh parsley, then that's better. But I just got a sprinkling of parsley on there. And that's it, guys. That's just another fantastic meal. Really, really filling and enjoyable. I do hope that you make it, because it's absolutely lovely with whatever you want to make it with. Is absolutely bob on. I'll see you later, guys. Have a good night, have a good evening, have a good day. Love you, bye.